Bradley with the Bradley Insurance Group, and what we're going to talk about is 10 factors or factors that can raise your insurance premiums. There's a lot of things on here. It goes from anywhere from pets to fires, swimming pools, and things of that nature, but we'll go through some of them and talk about them a little bit. One factor that can raise your insurance premiums is your pets. Owning, certain breeds of dogs can raise your insurance premium or even negate carriers being able to be willing to insure your property as well because of a dog. Obviously, in here we are dog lovers. We agree that dogs aren't always what the breed says that they are. The normal public says that they are, and it's a case by case basis. But at the same time, insurance companies don't see it that way. If it's in their listing as ineligible or surcharge premium for a certain breed of dogs, that's what they do go by, unfortunately. But that is a way that can raise your insurance premium. Other factors that can raise insurance premiums are location of your house. What does this mean? Well, whenever an insurance company is looking at it, it's not like technically what city are you in: Baltimore, Canal Winchester, Columbus, Groveport, Grove City, Lithopolis. Those are towns, obviously, cities. But what the main thing is how close is your property to a fire station? And is the fire station a full-time fire station or is it a volunteer? Today we see a lot more of the full-time stations and not so many volunteer stations. In each county and township, they seem like they're building more and more fire stations. And some of this, I think, comes to this here, and that's your protection class that you live in. It's how far are you away from a fire department, and how many units are at that fire department, and how quickly do they respond as well. Another factor that goes into that is, do you have fire hydrants around your house? Is it less than 1,000 feet from your house to a fire hydrant, or is it over 1,000 feet? Over 1,000 feet from a fire hydrant can make your insurance premiums be higher. Also, even whenever you get down to the protection class, whenever you're looking at distance to a fire department, there's many different factors on miles, and then it rates on different protection classes, being one is like the best, most protected, then it goes all the way up to a protection class 10, which is not protected. Where you run into the issue is at a protection class 9 or 10, which is, I believe, a technicality. I don't have the technicality, but it's like 6 miles or farther away from a fire department would throw you into protection class 9 or 10, which basically means unprotected. So there's a lot of companies that do not write protection class 10s, especially in today's market. But there are also companies that do that, that do look to insure, but typically the premiums are higher whenever you're farther away, because farther away means a higher percentage rate of risk of where we would totally lose the property if a fire did start. So that does come into play whenever you are looking at your home at raising insurance premiums. You're looking to buy a property, not telling you not to buy a house out in the country, but just know I would check with your insurance agent whenever you're looking to buy this house or whatnot to see if that will cause an issue with your current carrier that you have now, or a future carrier, or if they have access to the companies that can insure properties in a protection class 9 or 10, because not all companies can do that. Poor maintenance on a house can increase the cost of your home insurance premium. Also, it can even come into account where it could cancel the policy from the company because of poor maintenance, the house being run down, not taken care of, not well maintained, because a house that's not being well maintained or taken care of has a substantial loss, where they could experience a loss based on some of these things happening and not maintaining the house, like the roof, gutters, siding, shingles, and things of that nature. So poor maintenance on a house can really impact premiums, and eventually it could cause you to lose your home insurance and have to go elsewhere looking for coverage. The location of your property, the location of where you live at can increase your premium, not only on your home but also on your auto as well. Some home based, if they have a large loss experience due to weather-related storms and things of that nature from past, could determine higher rates on home policies. Also with auto, if your location is higher populated than another place, it can cause you to have higher insurance premiums because more people driving, more probability of an accident occurring as well. But if you live out in the country or something of that nature, not saying that your premiums are going to be any less at all, but there is a tendency if it's out in the country because of the less people out, less people living there, less people on the roads, less probability of an accident occurring. Another thing that can raise your insurance premium is having trampolines. A lot of carriers don't like the trampolines, so some places won't even look to insure a property if it has a trampoline. Some have very strict guidelines, like a fenced-in area where the trampoline is that's locked and gated, so other people from outside the property cannot get in. Also, even today, we're seeing, which has been an occurrence over the last couple years, is having a fence around your actual trampoline or a screen around the trampoline to help kids from not fall off the trampoline and injuring themselves that way. So that's a thing that could help. But also, trampolines aren't always an insurance company's favorite, but they do, if they do accept them, they do have some pretty strict regulations or rules that you have to go by to basically keep the policy. And if they're not abided by, some carriers will company cancel a policy due to trampoline and it not complying with their regulations or the rules requirements that they have. Another source of premiums being increased or raising your insurance premiums is pools, just because the pools are expensive, and what comes with the pools, like the decking, things around it, takes a replacement cost on a property up. Typically, these are covered under other structures on most with most carriers, but that can increase the other structure coverage, which then in turn would increase the premium. Also, pools based on the location where the house is located at, neighbors around it can also increase premiums. And also it could even impact if you can be insured by a certain carrier or not, because a lot of carriers have certain requirements that you have to have with pools, like as such as fencing and things of that nature, locked gates and things where you can get, people can't get in from outside. Now there's some people that live out in the country that don't have any neighbors within a mile of them that don't have a fence, but depends on the carrier. Even if there's no surrounding neighbors, they still can basically negate coverage or not write a policy based on not meeting the requirement of having a fence. Now that's some, not all, just a generalization for the most part, but having a pool can affect insurance premiums and raising insurance premiums. Also, when it comes to pools, as we know, with diving boards and things of that nature, there's a lot more liability risk with people having claims based on slip and falls, trip and falls, people just falling in, people trying to do flips, hitting their head on the side of pools and things of that nature. Those liability concerns are one of the reasons why pools make insurance premiums higher, or some carriers won't even look to insure them. So if you are buying a pool, or getting ready to build a pool, or you have that in your future, not saying to not build it because of that, but it's a factor that you should be aware of if you are looking at building a pool or having a pool built in the future. Claims frequency is a good one that can raise your home insurance premiums. And it's not, claims frequency is a good one, but that's something that's not talked about a lot. Claims frequency, what's that mean? The frequency of claims that you call in. Carriers do not want to deny claims or tell you not to call in claims, but sometimes people calling in nickel and dime claims, like anything under $500 to $1,000 on a home insurance, is typically a smaller, very small claim. So people turning in those claims can get you canceled from a company, or it can end up raising your premiums too. So frequency of claims like 1, 2, 3, even if you get into 3, a lot of carriers won't even insure you at the third claim. So it's not saying not to have claims or not to turn in claims, but whenever you're turning in a claim or looking at damage from a storm or whatnot, be thoughtful and mindful of what could this do to your future insurance program, because sometimes if you call in too many claims or whatnot, companies will cancel you, and then other companies outside may not write you or look to insure you because of your prior claims history. So then it would leave you only a couple of places to go, and the insurance premiums can be super, super high. So always be mindful, not telling you not to turn in claims, just to be mindful of what the situation is, what the repair cost will be if you would file this claim, and then knowing the result of the consequences if you do turn in the claim. And then that could be at the upcoming renewal also a surcharge for that claim, which that does happen because you have a claim. So whether we agree with the surcharges or not on claims, because that's what insurance is for, it still does happen. And people need to understand or be aware of them turning in claims does impact premium, can raise premium, and can eventually cause insurance companies not to insure the property.
This concludes our talk on different factors that can raise your home insurance premium. Our contact information is listed in the description below. If you have any questions at all, please contact us.